So recently you converted to being a Muslim.
I don't like to say converted because from what I understand, you weren't religious before being a Muslim. So it's not really converting, is it?
Do they see it as conversion though?
We had a debate about this.
Do you know what? To be honest with you, I don't actually know. To be honest, like, you know, some people say to me, I've reverted. I do just say that I've became a Muslim.
That's the way I would put it, and that's the way I was going to put it.
I don't know. I was trying to think of it like you converted from being like an atheist, not believing in God.
I've always believed in God. I said I was supposed to. I was a Christian, like, but I've never been christened. So does that make me a Christian? But I just wasn't religious. I wouldn't go to church. It's never really interested in. It hasn't been something that I thought would help.
The religion you were born into, and now you've chosen becoming a Muslim.
Well, you have a belief
Absolutely.
there, but you didn't possibly know where that was positioned.
Exactly.
So what made you make that choice?
To be honest with you, it is a beautiful and simple religion. And once I was introduced to it, now before I walked into a mosque, I wasn't religious and I didn't have any ideas in my head that I was actually going to become a Muslim. But once I walked in there, I felt something extremely powerful that, please believe me, I've been in a lot of places and I thought, wow, like what, like it felt genuinely like something had come and touched me, genuinely. And like, you know, like something was trying to get through or something was trying to speak to me. And to be honest with you, I'm not the sort of person that believed in all that sort of stuff. But because I've walked into this mosque, I thought, wow. So I thought I am. And I was always interested in it before because as a rule, they're very successful people, very money motivated, very entrepreneurial, which, such as myself, I take a liking to. I'm very compatible with a sort of person like that. And once I started reading the Quran, I got give a Quran by the Imam that I was in the mosque, and I thought, I'm going to look into this. And once I looked into it, I thought, wow, I'm really compatible with this. This is going to help me in this life and the next. And I thought, you know, then that's obviously for me, and it keeps you, it's very good guidance.
Yeah.
And it's just so simple. And I do believe that what it tells you is right. And it sounds a lot harder to do than it is. It's just about your intentions. And my intentions are extremely good. I try to do the best of whatever I'm doing. So if I was taking up a religion, I would try to be the best I possibly can.
So what do your family think of becoming a Muslim?
Well, to be honest with you, my dad is my dad's not very religious at all in any which way, shape or form. And I also do believe it would help anybody. It would equally help him. And from the start, he didn't know. That's what worried him. It wasn't about...
Ignorance is always the problem around any religion, isn't it?
Exactly. Knowledge dispels fear. And like I say, it was the unknowing that he didn't know. And he thought, like, you know, what my life was going perfectly good. There was nothing wrong with it. I was doing very well. It wasn't a problem, you know. I wasn't upset. I wasn't in a dark or a bad place. I was fine. Things was going, you know, as good as they should be. I will make sure that was the case. So it come as a shock to everybody. It come to a shock for myself. Obviously, is seeing that I am becoming a better person. Even like I've said on previous podcasts, down to not drinking is an extremely good thing not to drink.
You never drink?
No, to be honest with you, I haven't since I've took my Shahada. Now, will I not ever drink again? I'm going to try my best not to. And that's what counts. And the thing is, you know, to go out and have a party, I love to go and have a good time as much as the next person. Please believe me, I do. I really enjoy myself. I love to enjoy myself. But the unnecessary going out just because it's the weekend, now that'll put me in bed for a week. Now that's not good for business. Now what is equally as good for business is going out and networking. But you're not on form if you're out drunk.
No, you're not putting the best foot forward, are you?
No.
If you're on some caffeine or maybe a Red Bull, then you can at least build those connections.
It depends on the type of parties as well. 3 a.m. in the smoking area, absolutely battered. You're probably not meeting the right type of person.
Well, to be honest, listen, you'd be very surprised who you'd meet at them sort of parties. Like I say, everybody likes a party, you know, from the best footballers, from the best boxers, from the best of any area. You never know who you're going to meet. In a nightclub is probably, you know, luck of the draw.
I suppose it just depends on the place, really.
Of course.
And how expensive it is.
Of course.
Inshallah. Let's talk about that. As you mentioned the prayers, right? I don't want to... you've mentioned it on quite a few podcasts, your reversion to Islam, right? So we'll touch over basically like what happened sort of thing. And I'm going to relate it to business as well. So tell us, like, how did the whole reversion of Islam happen?
Completely unexpected. Never ever did I think in my life would I ever become a Muslim or would I ever become religious even. I was out with my friend. His name's Danny Dean. Another jeweller, buys and sells watches in Hatton Garden. We was out in my dad's helicopter for the day. And
Yeah, Aston Martin helicopter.
Yeah.
Yep.
We was out because he was on my case. You'll take this one out, you'll take that one out, you won't take me out. I said, come on, right, no problem, we'll go. I've managed to organise it, rang my dad, right, let's take it out. We ended up going to Cornwall and coming back. He said, all right, I've got to be back at a certain amount of time because my mum's going to take her Shahada. Well, we was all together anyway. I said, well, go on, we'll all come. No, ain't a problem, is it? No problem, because I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
So I've got in there, and I genuinely felt something in the mosque that I've never felt anywhere at all. So I'm like, and the thoughts that I was having was amazing. Like, imagine having God behind you. That was the sort of thing I was thinking. Now, to go into detail would be difficult for me now, but it was something that I haven't experienced ever. So I looked at my friend Daniel. I said, like, wow, like, I can't believe what's just happened to me. Do you know what I mean? He said, like, get me a Quran and let me read it. And then every page I was just felt, it was so relatable and I was so compatible with what was in the Quran. I said, I think I want to take my Shahada. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to read it again. I read it again, started talking about it, and then I looked and thought, what a beautiful community, what a beautiful and simple religion, and this can help me in this life and the next. So I thought, it's a no-brainer.
So at the point when you first went into the mosque, when your friend's mum was taking in Shahada,
Her Shahada, yeah.
to her Shahada, to, you know, you actually taking your Shahada, what was that time? How long was that?
6 weeks.
So you read the whole Quran in that 6 weeks?
Twice.
And then you decided, what made you actually decide? Because there's one thing seeking knowledge and reading the Holy Book of Islam, and then there's one thing of like, do you know what? I want to join this. So there was a ticking moment that made you actually want to become a Muslim.
Yeah, that feeling that I got in the mosque, and anything else only God can answer.
Yeah, fair play. And this is where I want to revert it back to, yeah? And how I wanted to revert it to business. A lot of people that I speak to, whether they're Muslim or, you know, whether they follow a religion, they conduct business in almost like a different type of way. So I want to ask, has your reversion to Islam made you conduct business or yourself in a different way as to before? If I had to give an example, you know, owning a nightclub in Islam, you probably couldn't do that because, you know, it involves parties and whatnot. So has it made you think about conducting business in a different way that's compatible? Not to say that you're doing anything anyway that was against Islam, but like, just has it made you think?
I'm only a student. I'm still learning. Be aware, I will probably make loads of mistakes, and I will hold my hands up to every single one. I'm not perfect. Only God is perfect, as you well know. And like I say, I will make mistakes, and thankfully I will try to make them as minimal and as less as possible, because I've got some very good people around me to point and steer me in the right direction.
Of course.
And my intentions are extremely good. I feel it in my heart.
That's the main thing.
You know, I feel it. Like, if I do make a mistake or I do something wrong, I do feel it in my heart. Now, that's what... I've never really had that before. But now I'm conscious of doing something wrong, which makes me feel like, you know, it's powerful stuff. No, so, it's very difficult for me to explain what's inside, but not really. Obviously, there's rules and guidelines, and I will do my utmost best to stick to them. Now, that's what matters.
Of course. Yeah.
I'm only a student in the religion, but I will do my best to learn as much as I can and be the best Muslim I can.
You know, you hit the nail on the head with that answer. You know, you can't ask for anything different other than what you just said. Exactly that. And also on that note as well, I got quite a few revert mates, right? And when they revert, they say Islam's the truth, so they want to revert the people around them as well. Have you ever had the conversation with your dad, or how do you think he'd take it? Would you want to revert your dad?
Like your friends say, I'd like to revert everybody. Because I believe it's the truth.
Of course.
I believe it's the path of righteousness, and I believe it can help everybody in areas they wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
But, you know,
all in God's timing, basically.
Like, listen, if it's meant to be, it will be. For me, I'm very grateful that the religion was brought to me, and I accepted it, and God's made my path extremely easy. He has. You know, I've had a little bit of backlash, what I expected, but from every Muslim brother, all I've had is love. You know, there's been a few trolls on social media. I'm sure you get it yourself. You know, racist people, bored racist people, people that have got nothing in their life apart from, you know, or people that maybe dislikes me anyway. Now they've got another reason
to not like
to point the finger and call names.
Yeah,
which never really has bothered me because, again, like I say, I try my best to be a good person, and I wasn't a bad person before. And do you know what? I said to my dad on a podcast previously, because we, you know, the Muslim thing came up, and cut a long story short, we was getting asked questions to and fro, and I said to my dad, like, what do you think? Do you think it's made me a better person? And he stopped and he went, I don't think it's made you a better person, which is not an insult, because I don't believe I was a bad person. I wasn't a bad person. I'm definitely, now I would say I'm definitely a better person, like, personally. But he said, no, but what I would say, it's enhanced you as a person, which I think was a great way of saying it.
Yeah.
Because it has.
Yeah.
It's made me want to do better, made me enjoy doing better things.
When you have kids eventually, will you bring them up with Islam?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. You know, I wouldn't want to restrict them. And listen, if they got older, I would leave my kids to do what they wanted, but I would try and direct them down the Islamic path.
Yeah.
Because it's helped me. It does help me on a day-to-day basis. Every single day that I wake up. You know, before I used to get up and pray Fajr is a beautiful thing. I feel good all day. It's made me appreciate what I have got and still want more. But if I don't get it, I'm happy with what I've got. I appreciate having air in my lungs and being alive. Now, I've never felt like that in my whole life.
Because you don't think of it like that, do you?
No, but now I do.
Yeah. How long have you been Muslim for now?
Since September 2022.
Would you say it's almost felt like a rebirth?
I wouldn't say so much a rebirth. It feels like I've had my eyes covered, you know, like I feel so like I can't genuinely, it's such a hard feeling for me to explain. I just feel better. I want to do more. Everything seems easy. When something don't go right, I don't feel so bad. I'm not so harsh on myself. You know, look, tomorrow's another day. If I wake up tomorrow, great. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
You know? Yeah. Like I'm just so grateful for what I've got now. I'm still striving and pushing to get more, but regardless, I'm happy with what I've got. I'm so appreciative of what I've got. And before I wasn't. Before I was like, oh, why ain't I here? Why ain't I there? Why won't this go right? Why won't that go right? You know, now I'm looking. Thank God I'm alive, and thank God my family's healthy. Thank God I'm here on your podcast.
Alhamdulillah for that one.
You know?
No, I get what you're saying, man. That's what I'm saying. You're grateful about everything. When you have Islam in your heart, you're grateful about everything. Anything that goes wrong, you're like, Alhamdulillah.